Blacks in Technology.
Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology.
Welcome everyone to the Blacks in Technology Bit Tech Talk podcast, a show where we talk to Black people who are engineers, innovators, educators, inventors, changemakers, and entrepreneurs doing amazing things in the world of technology. The Bit Tech Talk podcast is where they show how they are stomping the divide by sharing their stories, experiences, ideas, knowledge, and perspective on tech with the Bit community. On this episode of the Bit Tech Talk podcast, our host chats with Marcus Medley. Marcus is a native of Los Angeles and a graduate of Grambling State University. He's also the co-founder, alongside his wife Jaylise, and CEO of Apace, a Boston-based startup that utilizes role-based automation to streamline real estate contracts. Marcus began his career in tech at Silicon Valley, where he gained an appreciation of the startup ecosystem. After being frustrated with the repetitiveness and lack of automation in real estate, he began his journey to turn his novel idea into an actual product. Marcus ultimately hopes Apace becomes a Calendly of real estate, beginning with automating real estate transactions. And now our host of the Bit Tech Talk podcast, Entrepreneurship Edition, Natasha Robinson.
Hi, Marcus. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Great. I think we're in business. So without further ado, I wanted to thank you for coming to the Bit Tech Talk podcast, where we talk to inventors and educators and innovators like yourself about the amazing things they're doing in the world of technology.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here and very appreciative of you reaching out to me to begin with, or following up with me to begin with.
Great. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from originally?
Yep. So I'm actually from Los Angeles, California, originally. I went to, sorry for the kid's voice in the background, my daughter's here. I went to Grambling State University, where I spent 4 years. And right out of college, I got a job in Boston, and I've been in Boston ever since.
Awesome. Cambridge, Mass is my hometown.
Yep.
And small world.
Very small world. Love Cambridge.
Great. And I'm so curious. It looks like from your bio that you started out at Silicon Valley Bank. And what was that experience like?
It was definitely probably one of the most amazing experiences I've had. It really allowed me to get a greater sense of how startups work, what venture capitalists look for in companies, from companies when they start out to the moment they go public. So I really learned a lot, met some great people in the process, and it really helped contribute to who I am today. So it was definitely an experience I cherish to this day.
Awesome. And then could you talk me through how you made the transition into real estate?
Yep. So real estate has been something that I've been interested in since I was 20. I knew that once I entered the real world, if I really wanted to build long-term wealth, especially as a Black man, that real estate was going to be one of the avenues to get me there. So very early on, I essentially self-educated myself on real estate, how it works, everything from the transaction side to the properties themselves. And, with that early knowledge, I went ahead and got my real estate license in 2016. And, after a few years of being a real estate agent, I went ahead and got my broker's license in 2020, which I still have today. And I still actively sell today, in addition to running my startup Apace. And it goes hand in hand. I really do enjoy real estate. So it was great that not only to do real estate on a full-time basis, but also create a company that implements real estate into it. It was like a match made in heaven.
Do you
you have a product or service that you would like to share with the BIT audience, or maybe you'd like to support the BIT community and do your part in helping us with stomping the divide, start by sponsoring one of our podcasts. Please email us at contactus@blacksintechnology.net.
That's awesome. And you did this with your wife, I believe.
Yep. So my wife has been my business partner forever. We started flipping homes together in 2017, which we were successful in, and had a bad loss that we learned from. She's been great with helping me in my real estate work. She's been a valuable resource. So it was only right that my wife and I came together to create Apace, and she's just been great. I have nothing but great things, obviously, to say about her, but she's been great in helping Apace become what it is today.
Great. And as a lawyer myself, I have an appreciation for contracts and how that's a major part of real estate. But can you talk to me about where you see the value for your customers with Apace forms and how you're helping them to navigate that process?
Yep. So the greatest value that Apace brings to real estate professionals is that we save them time and energy. And, those are two things that any real estate professional can attest to are so valuable in this business. Time is very limited. Clients are very demanding. So to be able to satisfy them without having to sacrifice so much free time is just something that is hard to put into words. And we think it's one of the reasons why, we've gotten great early feedback from our product, even though it's still early. In speaking with them, they can really relate to, the value in being able to use the time saved towards doing other things that actually grows the business instead of spending so much time to doing real estate contracts.
Honestly, that sounds amazing. Because even being on the buying side a couple of years ago, and a lot of the angst was around, turnaround time and all the moving parts.
Yep.
And so I definitely see how that could really help all involved.
Yep. I'm glad you can see it because especially for attorneys, I work with attorneys a lot. And there's companies out there that help automate the process for attorneys. And I noticed that real estate was an industry that, didn't have the same type of automation, even though real estate professionals do not as much contract preparation as lawyers, but they do a lot of it. So, real estate attorneys in particular have also been great.
Yeah, and I hear you have children or a child, and same thing for me. I have a 5 and a 2-year-old. And can you talk about balancing your passions and entrepreneurship with family? It can be kind of hairy sometimes.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely not easy. Having our daughter, she's 2 now, and she's at an age where she is very independent, but there's still little things that, only mom and dad can help with. So balancing it it's definitely been what I'd like to consider a great challenge. And, it's really helped me in particular learn how to multitask, which is something that I will 100% admit I wasn't the best at, early on in my career. But it's something that as I've gotten older, I've learned to really master.
Awesome. Yeah, it's an ongoing learning process for me as well.
What's up, everyone? We hope that you're enjoying this episode of the Blacks in Technology Bit Tech Talk podcast. Do you or someone you know have a dope story that they want to share with our Bit audience? Blacks in Technology is seeking guests to be on our podcast. We're looking to highlight the journeys and experiences of Black women and men in the tech industry. So if you know of someone, send them our way. Shoot us an email to contact us at blacksintechnology.net or click on the link in the show notes and fill out our form. We're looking to hear from you.
And then on the topic of just representation, what would you say it's been like, forging this path? And have you seen other folks that you can, have fellowship with or exchange ideas? Because techpreneurship is a, particular path where you may not always see us there. So can you talk about what that's been like?
Yeah, so you know what? It's really been awesome to really meet so many people who are also in this space, who come from underrepresented backgrounds. That's a term that I've seen pop up lately, and it's something that I'm proud to represent. Coming from Los Angeles, I growing up, tech wasn't really in my outlook. I thought I would enter the real world. I always knew I'd enjoy real estate, but I didn't really see many people in tech that looked like me. And once I joined Silicon Valley Bank, and really got an idea of what the people behind these companies look like, I found out it was even, further from what I thought. Not only are there not really, startups with people of color, there's not really many representation with venture capitalists and even banks themselves. So, sure. I've met a lot of people on this journey who, are either thinking of ideas or have had very successful ideas that have, went on to be acquired. So it's been a great journey, definitely.
Awesome. And I always like to ask this question: if you could predict the future, where would you see Apace Forms, let's say, in the next 5 years?
Yeah, so that's actually a great question. I think the way I look at it is, as CEO, the vision I have, a very simple vision, is Apace being the Calendly of real estate contracts. I really want to help automate everything about real estate transactions, starting with contracts. And I think that, being able to do so would not only make real estate professionals a lot more money because they can accommodate more volume, but it would just make them much happier. And, real estate is a very stressful career. So to be able to automate it and, create very happy customers in the process, that's where I would love to see us in 5 years. And hopefully at that same time, we're, a multi-million-dollar startup that is widely loved and appraised.
Awesome. Well, here's to putting that into the atmosphere
Yes.
to make that happen.
Right.
And final question for you of this afternoon is, if you could travel anywhere, where would you go?
Oh, that's a great question. One place in particular that's always been on my radar is Italy. I don't know why. I mean, I've heard great things about it, but when I look at documentaries or articles and it actually shows what Italy looks like and the people of Italy, it just always seems like such an interesting place to visit. So, that's definitely high up there. If I could just choose one place off the top of my head.
That's awesome. Oh, I hope to have you get there one day and enjoy Italy. And I just want to thank you again, Marcus. It's been great talking to you and learning about you and all the great things you're doing. And I wish you much, much success in your journey.
Thank you.
And again, I'm Natasha Robinson of Blacks in Technology Charlotte. And I want to thank you and all the listeners today.
Thank you so much. It's been such an honor, and I'm loving what you all are doing, and to be a part of it in any way is definitely I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
The BIT Foundation has established featured partnerships and programs with companies such as Amazon, AT&T, CompTIA, Techstars, and more to provide our members with the resources we want and need to thrive and succeed in this tech ecosystem. To learn more, visit foundation.blacksintechnology.net. Join now, and remember, membership is free.
Blacks in Technology.
Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology.